My grandfather was one of the biggest spiritual influences on my life. He was in many ways my spiritual mentor. And like many of us, though, he wasn't always very close to God. He wasn't always connected with the church. I'd like to share part of his story, part of his testimony that it's always stood out to me. See, growing up in a small Midwest town with parents who loved the local church and loved gospel music, my grandfather had the groundwork laid for him. As he grew older, his love for music also grew, and he was often found dragging his young family all across the country to get to one concert after another. In this, I believe he thought he was a part of Christian community. It wasn't until a coworker and trusted mentor approached him one day with a challenge. He asked my grandfather why he made the effort to drag his family all over the place for gospel singings, but he never made the effort to drive them across town to get involved in the local church. This made a huge impression on my grandfather, and over time, he did make that effort. And he asked Jesus into his life, and he got involved in real community of believers.
I still will follow.
Through this experience, my grandfather went from being just a spectator to an important part of God's kingdom. He began teaching Sunday school and running the tech booth and preaching on occasion and so much more. He realized that God had so much planned for him, more than just being, dipping his toe into what he thought was community. I thank God for my grandfather, but I also thank God for his friend and trusted mentor who challenged him, and he challenged him that the community is so much more. He told my grandfather that it was extremely important to get involved in the local church, to get his family involved in the local church, and to be the church. I am where I am today because of that. But I often wonder, though, where my life would be if he hadn't realized that important concept years ago.